Okay, well, a friend of mine last year killed himself in August, and so for 8 months now, I've been preaching this thing about being friends with people as soon as you meet them, because I may never see you again, and this could be the opportunity for us to be friends and get that spark and that connection, that love, that feeling, that camaraderie. And so for 8 months now, I've been practicing this about being friends with everybody whenever. And then his sister called us. She's putting a book together while I was writing, because he was a poet, a harmonicist, and it's due to come out in a month or two. His name's William Sickwit, and so about a month or two, his book's going to come out. And I'm sitting on the back porch out here going, wait a second, do you mean for 8 months now I've been preaching the lesson of his death? I've been preaching what I gained from losing him instead of what I gained from having him. And so now I've kind of practicing, this is like yesterday, and so right now I'm trying to learn to share his sense of compassion and goodwill and spirit and love and tenderness. And the proceeds from his book are going to go to the animal shelter we work for here in town, and suicide prevention causes. And we're going to have benefit shows here where my mama's and some of the other places where we'll be selling the book and together proceeds for his causes. So it put me, being unemployed and divorced and all that, put me in a very to be or not to be sort of place, which was I found myself going, maybe I should follow William's lead, but I don't want to follow him. I think that's a bad lead to go. He did everything great until the very end, and that's the dedication on Open Mike's Austin. It says you were a great soul until the very end, and then you sort of blew it, And so I think his speech, Shakespeare's speech, really rings true for that. And having gone from being a spontaneous speaker to being a reading speaker only happened as last Saturday when I read some work. And Tom, the world poet who loves to speak here, is very into this whole spontaneous doing what you think thing. But Shakespeare lives. Shakespeare is right here. He's bouncing off these pages. He's ready to get out. So let's do it. And if y'all remember this, I don't quite remember the scene, but I did a little backtrack today. It looks like the king and Polonius are there, and Ophelia has just shown up, and she's telling the king has just told Ophelia to go out. Well, one, they're saying listen to Hamlet, because he's off by himself. This is a soliloquy, so he's sitting there by himself. And after it's over, she's supposed to go introduce him and sort of cheer him up. So here we go. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we've shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolent of office, and the spurns that patient Mary of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fordels bear to grunt and swear under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Softly now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered. It's good stuff.
I'm done.
I have another one.
Oh, y'all take it off? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?